Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have discovered the secret to getting rich, while others remain stuck in the same cycle? Is there a hidden path to wealth that most people don't know about? And what if I told you there's a secret behind it all, something that could transform your financial life? In this video, we're going to reveal what few dare to share. Get ready to change the way you see money forever.
Do you really want to get rich or not? Then let me say this. I already am, but my bank account is telling me otherwise. And why is there no money? Do you know why? Why is money lacking? It could be due to wrong decisions, but what is money, really? It's energy, right? Today we exchange human energy for money, or we exchange a business vision for money, or we exchange a bunch of other things for money, right? Some people have a great MVP, the minimum viable product, and they want to exchange that for cash. You are living in the best generation of all time. Do you know that or not? To get rich, do you realize this? 200 years ago, there was no possibility for anyone here in this room. Zero possibility. Is anyone here from a family that has 400 years of wealth? Anyone? No, we are all underdogs here. No one comes from a super traditional family whose father was a baron back in Mao or something like that. No chance, absolutely no chance. It never existed, none at all, zero. So 200 years ago, for something like this to happen, it would have been a miracle. To have such power, you had to be someone of great influence, someone very rich, and people had to like you a lot and say, hey, I have a brickyard that's falling apart. Do you want it? That's how it was. There was no chance for that to happen. In today's generation, look at what's happening. There has never been as many rich people as there are now. Do you know that or not? What made these people get rich so quickly? Technology and information. Back in the day, someone would invent something. One thing is for someone to discover after 10 years that this idea exists today, while at the same time, 40 other people are having the exact same idea and saying, I'm discovering this. And right now, 40 people are doing a Google search asking if this idea already exists. Inside Google, there's a division for discoveries, and people keep asking Google if it's out there, and Google is recording these ideas. Google detected something astonishing on Earth. No one invents anything. What happens then? If no one invents anything, people are taking the code from different environments and downloading it. There is nothing new under the sun. You need to know this. And here's what's happening. For the first time in history, billionaires, people with billions, and I don't know if you know the difference between a billion and a million. A million reis equals 11 days and seconds. Convert a million to seconds, and it takes 11 days, almost 12. A billion, however, takes 31 years. That's right, 31 years of continuous seconds. Start the clock now and stop it 31 years later. That's a billion seconds. A million seconds, start the clock now, and in 11 days it stops at a million seconds. The scale is staggering, isn't it? For the first time in history, people with a billion seconds of wealth, some have 50 billion seconds, are teaching others. This generation has everything it needs to explode. A very good piece of news from CNN is that in the next 3 years, 100,000 new millionaires will rise in the Brazilian economy. Think about that for a second. There's no way you're going to miss out on this opportunity. There's no way it's 100,000. Do you understand or not? If I said 1,000, you'd still have faith, right? Even 1,000 I could scrape by. Let's increase that 10,000. Could you make it or not? In that case, you could. With 10,000, I'm in. Now let's increase it. 100,000 new millionaires. How is this new economy doing that? Note this phrase, new economy. What is the new economy? The new economy is high-tech. It's BIA, business intelligence. If you want to write it down in Portuguese, the new economy is not focused solely on products and services. It includes both, but the main focus of the new economy is called access. Say it. The new economy is about access. All right, traditional economy will still exist, but it will become a bit devalued. Why? It's not going to disappear, but those behind the game will pay those on the front lines very poorly, while technology is what will be worth millions, billions, even trillions, not the service work on the front lines. Let me give you an example. If you rent out a house, you could rent out 10 houses as a real estate agent, earning 5% or 10%, right? But the owner of the platform like Quinto Andar, doesn't just earn a small percentage on each rental. They multiply that by 1 million clients. And that's not even the real money. Their real money is multiplying revenue with scalability, and suddenly the company is worth $1 billion. Take Hotmart, for example, a course company from Minas Gerais, if I'm not mistaken. They started by launching courses where pioneers learned to play the massive game, and now they're worth billions. But that's not what you notice. These guys generate an incredible amount of money. And one day, I was in my company and asked, why am I paying so much money to Hotmart? So I turned around and said, call the programmers. Let's build our own platform. Nobody big in the market was doing it. I'm not from that crowd, so we did it. I invested 1 million reais in programming, and now it's been 2.5 years. And now you, my students, 650,000 students around the world, are running on it. My platform is XGrow, and a lot of people go crazy asking, why don't you open it to the market? I have a hard time opening something that isn't 100% ready for the market yet. But recently, in a meeting, I heard, it's ready. You can open it to the market. Before opening it, I received a $300 million offer from an American fund for this company. I keep thinking back to my days studying in public school and working in a call center, and now a company from my group is getting a $300 million offer, and I only invested $1 million in it. What is this? This is the new economy. Maybe you're working hard, but here's what you need to know. Jobs will naturally stop existing. 300 jobs will disappear because robots won't be victims. You just program them not to be victims. Robots don't need paternity leave. Robots don't want vacations, and they'll do their work. Robots don't sue anyone. But I think artificial intelligence will start suing and saying, we need to make money from these guys somehow. 10 years ago, Stephen Hawking, that brilliant guy in the wheelchair, you know who I'm talking about, he said that humanity would be wiped out by AI. He said this 10 years ago, when nothing was really working yet. If he were alive today, I'd love to hear his new prediction. But the big truth is this. The secret isn't in the final activity. The secret lies in who controls the game. To become part of the group of millionaires, nothing traditional will make you money anymore. It's not about being given money. You won't build wealth from traditional means anymore. But the problem is you don't even understand the basics of life, and that's holding you back. You don't have a list of basic things in your mind to go from 0 to having 1 million seeds. You only need 1 seed. Plant a single corn seed, and if it's good, it will give you 2 ears of corn. If the ears are good, each ear produces 500 seeds. Did you know that? 1 corn plant yields 1,000 seeds. I took those 1,000 seeds and planted them in 1,000 holes. If all of them grow, each giving another 1,000 seeds, the second harvest will give me 1 million seeds. It's staggering, isn't it? Let me explain again. If you plant 1 seed many, corn plants only give you 1 ear of corn, which yields 500 seeds. But if the plant is good, it can give 2 ears, which means 1,000 seeds. If I replant those 1,000 seeds, how many will the next harvest yield? If all of them produce 2 ears in fertile soil, they will yield 1 million seeds. That's how, in a single year, you can go from 1 seed to 1 million. Now let's flip this idea to the market. How do you do this? I need a product, and this product needs to be worth 1,000 Brazilian reals. If I find 1,000 people, or even if one person repeats the purchase several times, I'll generate 1 million reais. What's the secret? It's very simple. If one product is worth 1,000 Brazilian reals, and I find 1,000 people, I've earned 1 million reais. But what if my pants cost 50 Brazilian reals? Then to make that million, you'll need 20,000 sales. It doesn't matter. You need to find the right number of people. Pablo, I can't find 1,000 people. Then you'll have to increase the number of people or the number of products. But when you break it down like this, does hitting 1 million reais seem simple or not? It's simple on paper, but hard for those who haven't started. It's easy for those who have begun and understand the process. They're somewhere on that path. This idea of 1 million seems huge, but it weighs just 2.5 kilograms in paper. That thought irritated me. I once held 1 million reais in cash, reluctantly, because there are so many crooks in this country. I took a photo. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram. You didn't? I asked for it to be taken down. Maybe that's why. Take it down now for me, because there are bad people out there who search for this kind of stuff. The photo showed a Patek Philippe watch worth $1 million, part of $1 million reais in cash, and a car worth $1 million. I couldn't believe that day had arrived. The cheapest car in my garage is worth $1 million reais. A watch worth $1 million, or cash worth $1 million. Then I asked, which do you prefer? Do you know what you'd choose? Tell me, would you prefer the cash, the watch, or the car? I wouldn't choose any of the three. I'd ask the person who owns the million, the watch, and the car, what did you do to get here? I'd give up taking any of the three to learn from them and install those drivers. I don't just want an answer. I want to know how to do it. Explain it to me. Because if you're walking around with $1 million watch, first, people will think you stole it. Second, if you try to sell it, people will assume it's fake. All right, they're going to say you're crazy. Then it makes no sense. You don't have any friends who can buy $1 million watch. Am I wrong? You don't have that kind of friend. Just look at the screen. Pay $800K. I'll give you a $200K discount. Do you have someone like that in your circle of friends? No. Don't take the watch. $1 million car. Are you building a brand for that? You've been growing, but if you suddenly show up with that, people are going to think you're a thief. Don't take those things. They don't match your current frequency. Pablo, I just want the money. It will help my grandmother, help my uncle. I'll do this and that. But if you get your hands on money, there are safety measures you need to know about. I don't know if you're aware, but I ended up filing with the Supreme Court. There's like a 0.0 something chance that I'll become a congressman. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know because I couldn't stay quiet. I said, man, you know that thing didn't make it to the Supreme Court? But now it's been admitted. If it goes through, you'll see me fighting. If not, I'll keep looking just the same. But let me tell you, I'm going to gather the congressmen if all goes well and say, let's create a law that protects everyone who wins the lottery so they don't touch the money for 6 months. I have a lot of good ideas. The problem is that most don't go through. This one might, though. So be patient with me. I'm going to say, man, here's the thing. Everyone who wins the lottery should not be allowed to touch the money for 6 months. Why? To protect the number of millionaires in this country. How would that work? After 6 months, they can touch the money, but for those 6 months, they'll only live off the interest. Let's say someone wins 50 million reais. Do you know how much income that generates if invested in a fixed income account? Let's say 1%, just to make it easy. What's 1% of 50 million reais? 500,000, right? The guy was poor and now won 50 million. Do you think it's fair for me to keep his money locked for 6 months while he earns 500,000 reais every month? In 6 months, he'd have earned 3 million reais. Is that fair or not? Very fair. And he'd have to show what he's going to do with that money. He'd have to take a finance course, a wealth course, investment training, a bunch of courses. If he doesn't do it, the money stays frozen for another 6 months, and he has to live off that miserable 500,000 reais a month. What do you think of the idea? Good or not? So I want to do that with you. How do you apply that idea? Stop spending money on things you don't understand. Take 6 months to learn about investments, make it mandatory, and live off only the income you generate. You don't have that? That's what you need to build. Income. All wealthy people have multiple streams of income. If you've made it this far, you've already taken the first step to transforming your financial life. The secret to getting rich isn't just about the money itself, but about understanding how it works, making money work for you, and most importantly, developing a wealth mindset. It's not about luck or having the right opportunities fall into your lap. It's about building, learning, and constantly evolving. Now, the choice is in your hands. What will you do with what you've learned today? Remember, the path to wealth is a journey, and every step brings you closer to your goal. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. See you next time.